From the time I was 6 till about 16 years old, I was molested, and I felt worthless. I felt like, this was all my life was going to be. And at 16, I ended up telling a teacher what was going on, and I was put into foster care for a year. Being in foster care took me down another road that I never thought I'd go down. I got involved with a man who was a small-time pimp, which I didn't know. I got involved with this man who was much older than me, and by the time I found out who he was and what he did, it was too late. He had picked me up one day on my way to school, took me to an abandoned house out a little ways out, and he raped me that day. And that changed me even more than what I had gone through previously. And I was so broken and I was so hurt. I went into cutting, I went into bouncing between bulimia and anorexia, depression, just all kinds of turmoil at 16, 17, 18 years old. And because I was broken, because I was shattered at that place in my life, I chose a man that everybody warned me against, and married this man, and for 15 years, he emotionally and mentally abused me. Nobody knew, nobody had a clue that I was going through this. I had the best smile, I could put on the look, I could walk into church and people would think I was on cloud 9, not knowing that I was being destroyed inside. But you know what? I thought I deserved it. I literally believed that because of the pattern my life had taken, that I deserved this type of treatment. And so for 15 years, I endured this. And nobody had a clue that I was dying inside. Nobody had any idea where I was. One day, I sat and I was praying and I said, God, I can't take this anymore. I need help. I need a change in my life. But see, God came in at that place in my life, and He came that day and He showed me, you know what? All you have to do is lay it at my feet, and I can change your life. And from that day on, He started teaching me how I could put that pain behind me. And His number one thing was, you have to forgive. And when He taught me that forgiveness was a choice and not a feeling, I got freedom that was unbelievable. And that's when He birthed in my heart the desire to tell every woman that I could about this freedom that I found. Because unfortunately, there are so many women out there. 1 in 3 women have been assaulted in some manner in their lifetime. And I want to tell them, you can be free. This God, the God of the unlikely ones, the ones that everybody else said is not going to make anything of themselves, that they've thrown away, society has thrown them into rehab centers and prisons and things because they said they're useless, there's no way they can be used. But God said, no, that's the one I want. That's the one I want to use. So I have a story to tell, and I would love to partner with you and your church to minister to the women of your church and the women of your community. My first option that you can choose from is Walk in Freedom, and that is for your women's conference, your women's tea, anything that you just want to really encourage your women, whether they've been through things like I have, or whether they've just got other struggles that they really need encouragement in. Or the women that may have gone through the things I've gone through, and you have no idea that they've been struggling with this, but this can bring freedom into their life and heal their marriages and their relationships with their children just by getting this type of ministry brought into your church. Our second choice is called God of Unlikelies. The God of Unlikelies chose unlikely me. And that's for the teenage girl that's still struggling with who is she in Christ. She may have been abused and nobody knows it. She may have been in a date rape and nobody knows it. But our youth are struggling so much, and they're making so many wrong choices. The God of Unlikelies chose them, and that they don't have to remain in their situations, that they do have a future, and that God can change their life. You can bring me in a day early and we can go out to your prison or teen challenge or wherever it is that you've set up, and we can just go. I love to give free product to the ladies, I would love to come, walk in freedom. I tell you what, God can bring freedom to the women in your community and in your church.